How's it going, folks? So today we're going up to the Maidens. It's currently raining right now. It's only supposed to rain for about another 10-15 minutes, so it gives us time to get out here. We have another 3 hours until high tide, so we should get there 2 hours before high tide and then fish the tide down. And once we fish the tide down, I want to go and try somewhere in slack water for spur dogs if there's any bait about. But yeah, it'll take us probably about 45 minutes to get up there. So once you get up there, I'll run you through with what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and the stuff that I'm using. So let's go. So we managed to find a bit of bait, quite a lot of bait to be honest, but they are, I don't know if we're going to be able to hold it. They are very small wee pilchards or small mackerel, whatever you want to call them. It's perfect size to be honest for spur dog bait. But yeah, got the bait, so we can do that later for the spur dogs, see if we can get anything, if we don't get much pollock and wrasse and stuff. Haven't been out in the boat in probably about a month and a half, had an injury, and the smell of the mackerel I do not miss. It is pretty strong. We'll do it. We'll get over to the Maidens here. We're probably about 5 minutes away from it, and hopefully be onto some pollock. So we've arrived at the Maidens. It's quite lumpy on the way over here. There's another fella here, but he's fishing the back of the island, getting the shelter. Where we are, not that sheltered, but we're in 0.8 drift, the tide. So we're going to fish here, see what we can get. Not really sure how it's fishing this late on into the year, but I guess we're about to find out. Can't really see any seals, which is a plus because you usually end up fighting with them. But we'll see how we get on here. So it's quite difficult at the minute to be able to fish the left side of this. We're drifting now at 1 knot. We're drifting west to east, which is pushing us in to the rocks. But I would go to the other side and fish, but there's 2 ribs and another boat there. So I think we're just going to persevere here for a bit, and then once it actually gets to high tide at 11, we're going to go and try for the wrasse at another wee spot. But for now, I'm going to reposition here, see if I can get anything, maybe give it about 10 casts. If I don't get anything, I'll go across to the actual lighthouse and see if I can get anything there. The rain is on and off, so I put my jacket on. The hopes doesn't rain again and get soaked, but that's how we get on. Quite decent fish. Pollock, maybe 60-65 centimeters in and around there, and it has swallowed it. So what I kind of do is whenever it comes to like the end of the season for sea fishing, I would usually use green stuff, and then like in summer, like in actual summer, like June, July, it would be like pink stuff. But don't know, it makes a difference. This is a Lazy Lures Renaissance eel. It's all the shooter fins and stuff on it, so like literally aces. I've done a few more casts, but I haven't really got much. Keep drifting, and there's not a lot being caught. So I think I'm gonna reposition to another spot and do that drift and see what we get. I don't really know what to do. I don't know whether it's worth moving to another spot completely and trying there, or continuing on here, which is where I got the fish from. So I don't really know exactly what to do. I think it's quite a hard decision sometimes. Stay, or go and try and find other ones. I don't know. So it's now got the high tide, so what we're going to do is go over to the market that another fella told me about. I'll try it. It's supposed to be for wrasse. There's wrasse gear, 20 gram Texas rigs, but I don't know if that's going to do it because the currents are quite strong, quite choppy as well. It's probably about 3 miles away. I thought it was a wee bit closer, but it's not. It's 3 miles more out to the Irish Sea. There's like a bit of like a cliff underwater type of thing, and you fish over the top and just drift across it. It's supposed to get wrasse. He said he was using spinners, metal spinners. There's other stuff that I would prefer to use to try and catch a wrasse. I'm going to try it first. If it doesn't work, we'll go back to the spinners and what he said. So yeah, we'll get going anyway. Arrived at the supposed wrasse mark. We're in 85 feet of water and drifting at 0.7 knots. I'm about 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 mile out from Larne. So we're drifting south to north, so we're planning to fish in the bottom of the island to drift the whole way across the top of it. I think you're supposed to fish off the bottom by like between a couple of feet to like 10 feet, just up and down off the bottom. So ideally probably a jig would work pretty well in this. So depending how we get on, I might pull the conflict out and get the jigging setup going. I'm going to give it a try here anyway, to see if we can find any wrasse or pollock. There should be something about, but it's just whether we catch it or not. So I've repositioned to the front of this island. This is like a big island under the water. We're in the centre of it, which is the shallowest for us in the water. And what we've done now is we've just moved to the south part of it, and we're currently at 150 feet, but it'll quickly change back to 60. So we're trying to fish just over the drop. So the way to manage it, or to imagine it, is like just like a cliff, and it's like kind of fall off. So we're trying to fish like along the edge of where the drop is, off the edge of the cliff. I'm using a 60 gram homemade jig that I made. 60 gram luminous jig with a single hook on it, and then a muppet with an assist hook through it. It should hold the bottom, but on the fish finder or Navionics right now, it's like the bottom is like a lot of seaweed, but it's like the seaweed's on top of the rocks type of thing. We're now at 120 feet, so we've come down 30 feet from the start of the drift. But yeah, give it a go and see what happens. So we've moved back to the lighthouse, the Maidens. I didn't get much out there at that wee island I was talking about, so decided to come back here. I am going to put plastic lures on, try them. If not, I'll go the jigging rod again. I want to get something nice nice in the jigging rod. So we're in 28 feet of water anyway, a lot of seaweed, so we should be able to pluck something out of the kelp hopefully, and hopefully get a nice pollock. So we moved from the actual lighthouse, and we'll come back over to the house. We're on the left side of it. We've fished it now for a good lot of hours. First fish I got was the only fish so far. I've had like 1 or 2 bites. I think Corey's had 1 or 2 bites, and that is literally it. Nothing else. So we're going to try maybe a couple of more drifts here. I don't know whether to try on the way back for spur dogs. It's probably coming up the time to go and try for that. Don't think it's ideal tide because it'll be coming up the low tide here soon, but let's see what happens. Managed to grab some mackerel at Pollock, so going to reposition, do a drift, and see if I get anything. So we've decided that we're just going to move on. We're going to move back, and I'm going to try for the spur dogs on the way back with the wee joeys, pilchers, small mackerel, whatever you want to call them. I'm not very hopeful on getting anything, but I want to try anyway. Up here is dead at the minute. There's 2 fellas in their red. Don't think they were getting much either. They've just left. So we're going to do the same. Head back by about 10 mile back, fish off the Gobbins / Portmore in and around that area. I hope we get something, or even a dogfish. I'd take a dogfish. I would take anything at this moment. Right, but let's go and see how we get on. Oh, we've made our way back towards the Gobbins Portmore area. But I haven't fished here for spur dogs, so I don't know exactly where to fish. I have a brief idea where to fish, but we're also drifting inland, so I don't want the tide to be kind of going from high to low. Kind of want to be in an area where it has like a steady within 20 feet of its depth, to be able to drift in it and be able to pull the bait along the drift for the spur dogs. But I just don't think it's worth it doing it today. We've tried so many spots there, and every time I went onto it I was drifting in either the wrong direction. The heights of the water were different, drifting into way deeper water. I also don't know if I have enough line on one of my rods, or my reels, sorry, because I forgot to bring one of my rods. So I think I'm going to have to leave that for another time. Sadly, only managed 1 fish to the boat today. Got to see dolphins though on the plus side, which I'm happy with. I'm actually going to go back over here. I've got the mackerel. I'm going to feed them if they're still there. That's it. So thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.